Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. What got brought in this morning? This 2017 Toyota Highlander V6, 115,000 miles. And the owner said this car left his wife stranded when she was picking up their kids from school, right in the parking lot. Toyota's supposed to be a reliable family vehicle, right? That's why people buy them. And why did this happen? So the story was, she's picking up the kids, whatever, and it just, it has the auto start stop system, so it shut off, and then it wouldn't restart. So nothing. Push the button, dead in the water. She called AAA. They showed up. They put a jump starter on the battery. It fired up. Took it off, started driving, boom, stalled out again, wouldn't start. So they had it towed back to their house. Then the owner, he said he drove it around. He had a message on the dash that said auto start stop disabled, battery charging. And then he just brought it over. He's like, my wife, she doesn't want to deal with this, obviously. So we're here to check it out. Let's see what's going on with this Highlander. So first thing you would suspect is, maybe the battery's getting weak, because a jump start apparently, got it going, at least for a while. And then it drove here fine this morning. So the battery is not original. It's a NAPA Legend, and it looks like a 21, so it's about 3 years old. Don't suspect that it would go bad, already. But let's do a full health report, scan for codes, see if we have any clues. Alright, did a full health report, got it saved, and let's see what the codes are. So in the engine control module, we have 3 codes. P03352A, crankshaft position sensor A, signal stuck in range. Never seen that code before. That's interesting. Engine stall history, startability malfunction. We've got a tire pressure code. And then starting control, lost communication with ECM PCM. Huh. Very interesting. It doesn't say, system voltage low or anything. That's concerning. So we have to do some research on these codes. What controls the starter, and crankshaft position sensor, loss of communication. This could get interesting. And like I said, auto start stop is one of the evil features in modern cars. It does absolutely nothing for the consumer. Less reliability, premature starter wear, the battery gets spanked, you're discharging, charging, discharging, charging. To do what? Save a few drops of gas? I mean, the emissions, when the engine's running warm at idle, emissions are very low. But when you shut it off, it cools down, and the next restart, you're in open loop. I would think the emissions would actually be higher. So who came up with this stupid system? I don't know. Probably someone in government. And it's just a lose-lose. At least this one has the little button to disable it. But you have to push that every time you start the car, which is kind of annoying. Well, let's just see how it starts. Cranks right up, no issues. Welcome back. Let me close the hood. We'll take this thing for a little test drive up and down the lane. Alright, let's just cruise down the driveway. We got the eco light, okay. And let's just stop and see what it says. Stop and start unavailable. Well, actually, that's a good thing, right? We don't want that crap. Let's go into these modules. There's ECM, and then the other code here is in starting control, and then there's this stop and start. Like, I want to see why is the system disabled right now. Data stream. Let's take a look. Starter relay, number of DTCs. So it's not very helpful there. So if I push the start stop disable button, prolonged stop and start reduces AC output. Now if you hold it, balances stop and start and AC output. No, we don't want extended. Standard. Okay, we'll stop again. Stop and start unavailable. Probably because of the code set. Let's see if start control or stop start controls the idling, stop, and engine start automatically. Get excellent gas mileage when the vehicle stops and starts. Yes, makes you feel really good. Let's look at data stream. Why is this thing disabled? That's my question right now. $215 data pins just for start stop system. Wow. Well, let me scroll through this. So there are 36 data pins that have the word permission in it. So this is like the rationality check of, are we allowed to stop the engine? So let's see. Okay, 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 okay. And then page 2. Okay, 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 okay. Page 3. Ah, there we go. So if I push the brake pedal, that's it. You see, that says okay. Master cylinder pressure okay. And if we go to drive, start and stop operating permission neutral switch. It doesn't like the gradient. Okay, now it says okay. D position. Okay, 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 okay. So basically, there are two no NGs, no good. So power management says no, we cannot do this auto start stop crap. And then neutral switch. Why does the neutral switch say no good? You put in neutral. And then starter check complete. So it has to do the starter check apparently. So neutral switch, power management. Let's get to a flat road surface here. Let's say start stop unavailable. Yes, okay. So we're all good, good, good. So just these two, neutral switch and power management. So right now, the car seems to be happy and it's disabled the auto start stop. Let's go back to the shop, do some research on these codes. I'm heading out of town for a few days, so even if we find a problem with this car, I won't be able to resolve it today. But I'm tempted to just give it back to the owner so he can drive it for the next week until I get back. And we won't erase the codes. If we erase the codes, then it'll try to do the auto start stop again. We'll have to recreate the problem, blah blah blah. It might be intermittent. So right now, if the car seems to be reliable, I'm going to give it back to them for a week, and we'll be back. So let's look up these codes on ALLDATA. Okay, so let's do a little bit of research on these 4 codes, starting with the 3352A. So right there, crankshaft position sensor A, signal stuck in range. It says that's just the 36X signal, and this one right here. No crankshaft position sensor signal to the ECM while cranking. Okay, so basically it commands a crank and doesn't see a crankshaft signal. So obviously in this case the engine just wasn't spinning over, so it's a no crank situation. So that was just a rationality code, so I'm not worried about the sensor itself. Next code is P1603, engine stall history. So that's the one right here. If the engine fails to start while stop and start control is operating, this code will be stored. Serviceability has been enhanced. So again, it goes through all these checks. Engine stop by start control, and engine hood open or engine hood courtesy switch open, and mode changed to stall 1 and 2. Both the following conditions are met. Engine stop by start control and collision or low battery voltage detected. So I don't know if this is the case. Collision signal detected, no. Engine being restarted by stop and start control and collision detected. Collision, we don't care about collision. Here we go. Engine being restarted by stop and start control and restart fails. So that is probably what set this code. Using the NE signal, complete combustion is identified 0.6 seconds after engine stop. Judgment 3 complete. Engine speed signal from ECM not received. Okay, well if the engine's not spinning, obviously the engine speed won't be received. Shift lever is in D. Mode stalled represents state. Engine restart is prohibited. Cancel due to collision. Okay. So kind of again a rationality code. Failed to start, and then startability malfunction. This DTC is stored when the engine does not start even though the STA signal is input, or when the engine takes a long time to start, and when the engine speed is low or the engine stalls just after an engine starts. So that happened according to the owner's wife. The engine just, the AAA guy jump started it or connected a boost pack, it started and then stalled out, wouldn't restart. Crazy. So it happened once, and now it's in this kind of a default state where it doesn't activate the start stop, which makes it more reliable. That's for sure. So again, that's a code set in that event. Finally, the U0100 lost comm with ECM PCM by the start stop module. So voltage is fine, vehicle speed is, you're moving, data cannot be received from ECM for 2 seconds or more. So I don't know if this caused the stall or the no start, or if this is again cause and effect. This is going to be pretty hard to determine. Taking a quick look at the stop start system. So basically this is how the vehicle starts or cranks. Engine stop and start ECU. It's a separate controller, separate module, and it talks to the Eco Run Vehicle Converter Assembly. This and that, engine stop and start ECU. It talks to the brake booster pressure sensor. So this module has to do all these rationality checks just to determine if it's okay to stop your engine when you're sitting there at a stop sign. Engine stop and start solenoid filter. Let's see. Heater water pump assembly. So that's a transmission solenoid. Then we have brake actuator assembly, power steering ECU, steering sensor. Then telematics, television, radio. When are we going to get to the starter? This is like page 6 or 7. Blind spot monitor, tire pressure, park assist ECU. All the cameras. Okay, here we go. Start relay, start number 2 relay. Starter assembly, finally. And there's the battery. Okay. And there's the STA signal. And the STA signal, where does that come from? Park neutral position switch assembly. So when you're in park or neutral, I guess it can start it when you push the button. Here's the ECM, and the ECM has a wire coming to it that says NSW neutral switch, and then the STA here, that's the request for the starting system, light green wire, goes to the start number 2 relay. Okay, and that's grounded. So the ECM, the engine control module, can energize this relay, and start number 2 battery. So boom, that would energize the starter on SL2. So it has 2 control wires, the starter itself. One coming from the auto start stop, it looks like, because that's controlled by the STA terminal right here. And the blue wire goes to here. Okay. Or STA2, you can energize this start number 2 relay. So what's the difference? Start number 1 or start number 2? Starter assembly. It's not really clear which one has to energize for this engine to crank over. Why does it have 2 start relays and 2 terminals on the starter? That's a little weird. Description and operation of the Evil stop and start system. So according to the following conditions, basically these are all the things that have to be met for this system to be like, okay, we can shut off the engine. It's a whole list. I mean, anything from door ajar, ignition switch, brake booster, the cancel switch, vehicle speed, road grade, engine speed, a hood has to be closed, the battery voltage has to be 7.8 volts or higher when starter begins operation, 8.9 when starter begins operation, battery temperature, AC, heater, steering wheel, it has to be straight, engine control, it has to be warmed up, you have to have enough braking force, honestly ridiculous. And then when the engine is stopped by start and control, any of the functions of the engine will restart. Okay. System prohibition control, engine stop and start ECU prohibits start and stop control by according to the table. Okay, so let's see if we can find the NG data PID. Engine, brake, hill start, gradient, heater, AC, driver door, engine hood, seat belts, automatic transaxle assembly, ambient temperature, battery, current and charge, idling stop rate, read the data stream integrated current. I'm checking the. Oh my gosh. This is really very complicated just for a simple action, right? Like, the engineers really had to spend weeks tearing their hair out, probably months, to get this system engineered and developed and tested. Information display engine cannot be stopped. Restarts. System may be malfunctioning. Malfunction. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. So this might be an extremely time-consuming diagnosis, especially if it's intermittent. So I don't have time for that right now, but if it happens again, they'll bring the vehicle back, and I'll tell them this might take some time. One quick thing I wanted to check on scan data is the neutral switch. So we're in park right now. It says neutral switch on, but stop start operating permission neutral switch is NG. So I'm going to switch to reverse. Neutral. Drive. So neutral switch seems to work just fine, but this NG, I don't know why it's saying NG all the time. Alright, let's take a look at the freeze frame data in the engine controller for these three codes. See what the battery voltage was. What is this? 6.6 volts. BM plus BM voltage. That's not good. 23 pages of scan data. Oh my gosh. Should we go through all of them? That blows my mind. The battery voltage 6.7 volts. So something drained this battery down, and that was the cause for this no crank. I'm sure of it. Alternator voltage non-active test 13.8. I mean, this thing wasn't running, right? And a jump start did help. You know, where's the engine speed? Let me scroll through here and see if we find something interesting. So interesting to note, the battery current was is being severely depleted, about 40 amps, 6.4 volts. So, you know, maybe the system didn't quite realize that the battery was getting low, or it did, but not in time, and the battery just didn't have enough juice to crank it over, and then you're dead in the water. That's why the jump start helped initially, and then, you know, maybe it started charging or something, but the alternator is overloaded and it stalled again. So now it's kind of recovered and the system's disabled, so it's all happy. You know, should we recommend a new battery, even though this one's only 3 years old and supposedly it's a good NAPA Legend? I don't see anything wrong with the battery, but why did the car allow it to deplete so far? Maybe you need a special auto start stop, you know, deep cycle battery. I don't know. But now I'm more confident in giving the car back to the owner in this state without clearing the codes, and maybe this auto start stop system, it will just be disabled as long as you don't clear the codes. That would actually be a win, and everyone's happy in that case. I think that's what we're going to do. Uh-oh, I just tried to start it. Look. Battery's dead. Okay, so yeah, everything's weak. Window doesn't want to go up. Check all-wheel drive system. If we go into ECM, look at the battery voltage here. No comm, 26 volts. Yeah, I don't think so. This thing is not happy. So let's get out of here. Try OBD2. I just want to see what the current battery voltage is. 7.6. So this battery is shot because we've been sitting here for, what, 10 minutes with the key on? Completely dead, so it does need a new battery. So interesting diagnosis. So I'm measuring the battery voltage right at the battery. So when you hit the start button, 7 volts, 8 volts, So it's maintaining 7.3 and everything's dim. So yeah, this battery's junk. It's probably a shorted cell, something like that. Why did a NAPA Legend battery die in 3 years? Because of the auto start stop system garbage. Like I said, it costs way more money than you're saving on gas, and you're not really saving the environment because you need to buy batteries. It's really ironic and stupid. So we'll get a new battery coming and clear the codes out, take this thing for a test drive. So nothing too crazy, but still, you know, we needed to look at the freeze frame data. That was very key, and while we're testing, the battery got depleted. You know, the capacity is junk. So after 10 minutes of just sitting here with the key on looking at the scanner, boom, no start. So customer complaint confirmed. Brand new battery installed. This is Fisher Auto Parts Platinum 3-year warranty, 36-month. So let's fire up the scanner, clear out all the codes, make sure this thing is happy. Full code scan again. It looks like the battery disconnect cleared all of the powertrain codes. We just have a TPMS code and some, what is this, combination meter. So let's just clear those out for consistency. Shut it off. Cranks right up. Welcome back. So let's jump into some live data, monitor the battery voltage. Make sure the start-stop system works. I wish there was a way to disable it, but you just have to press this stupid little button every time you want to disable it. Okay, here's some live data from the start-stop system module. 14 volts, looks great. And here's all the permissions. So let's drive it around. Once it warms up, it should work just fine. So right now it was saying auto start stop unavailable due to battery charging. Let's see. There you go. So I'm wondering if, you know, there's a battery current. If the current going into the battery is too high, then the battery's not fully charged yet, so it'll disable it. So let's take it for a spin, charge up the battery, and make sure the system works as intended. Well, it still says battery charging every time you pull up to a stop, so I don't know. At least I'm confident that the battery is good now, and that was the root cause of the issue, so I think this car's ready to ship. Nope, still battery charging. So, well, you guys know my thoughts on this useless system. If you want to prolong the life of your starter and your battery, every time you get in the car, just push that magic button, disable the auto start stop, and drive it like a normal car. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.